So this is gonna be a fun video, I guess. And just as a disclaimer, this is not political in either way. I am just pointing out something that I've observed, nothing more, nothing less. It just so happens that the left side of things has this problem more than the right side. A lot of people would consider it a Karen thing, as the slang goes nowadays. So let's call it Karen syndrome of current day, modern day folk, because of what I'm about to go on about, otherwise known as an entitlement problem. So with that, get on with the video. Being offended doesn't make you right. We've heard this time and time again. Your feelings are hurt. You have a differing opinion on a subjective matter. Doesn't make you right. Doesn't make them right. These are all common sense things, right? Well, the fact of the matter is, 2020 is telling everyone that if you are offended, you should try to cancel that thing, whether it's a TV program, musical song, or person that bothers you. If they bother you, you should fire them, cancel them, get rid of them. Now, I'm not one who picks sides, say, politically speaking. I think the two-party system, three-party system is just stupid in general. However, I will say, though, that it seems like the most of that type of thinking comes from the liberals or Democrats or maybe both of them. I don't know. Either way, I see this happening more so with the people that are trying to be anti-fascist. But in the process of being anti-fascist, they are indeed being that to which they hate, that to which they're going against. They're all about free speech and things like that, but yet if someone uses free speech that they don't like, then oh God, we have a problem. You should cancel them, you should fire them, etc., etc. Tomi Lahren is a good example of that. She's on the Republican side of things. Boy, oh boy, do people hate her. But that all aside, though, what we got here is more of an entitlement problem and people that have never been through actual hardship. Sure, you know, there's poverty and so on and so forth, but we're talking actual suffrage. We're talking the Great Depression and things like that. Today's people don't know what real, actual hardship is. So when they get offended by something, they feel entitled to do something like have them fired or have that canceled or have that removed, because they don't know anything more of a discomfort or problem or issue other than being offended. People who lived through, say, the Great Depression and things before that, they barely get offended from what I understand. And two, they don't make a big deal out of it because it's such a minuscule issue. The big Great Depression, that was kind of a big deal. You know, that's something that you make a big deal about. The Nazis and their gas chambers and prison cages and such. Another big thing to make a big deal out. Do you think back then, if someone had a disagreement with another person, politically, musically, or otherwise, they'd be like, well, that person should be fired? Nope. They would either argue it out, agree to disagree, whatever, and then move on. They wouldn't try to go out of their way to say this company needs to be eliminated or this music needs to be taken off the air, etc., etc. Because they had bigger problems. They actually had real fucking hardships to go through and tolerate and survive in some cases. So, because of this complete and total lifestyle change, per se, of people barely going through real difficult life challenges other than maybe poverty and things like that, at least in the Western world, that is. We have a generations of individuals that think, they're entitled to do these things, think these things, say these things. And while sure, you can say these things all you want, but following through with things like they should be canceled, that's a whole other thing. You can say, yeah, I'd like it if they weren't on the air. That's completely fine. That's all on you. But when you go out of your way, starting petitions and holding signs up and things like that, that's when you're a little bit too extreme. And that shows that your life was a little bit too easy. Unfortunately. Because the thing with people who've been through hell and back, whether it was, today's standards of that, or the Great Depression, Nazi camps, is when they encounter something that bothers them, they have resilience. Something today's people lack greatly. They have the ability to let go. They have the ability to move on. So on and so forth. They can agree to disagree. When they see things, hear things, etc., that they don't agree with or they don't like, they'll acknowledge they don't like it, or they may not even do that. They'll be like, and they'll move on. Want to know why? Because they know that it's so insignificant that it shouldn't really matter. Because it doesn't. Like that Christmas song that people were throwing such a bitch fit about not too long ago, a couple of years ago or whatever. You really think people who've been through hell and back gave a fuck about that song and their insinuated lyrics? Hell no! Fuck no. They knew that there are bigger issues to deal with and harder hardships to contend with, deal with, and go through. In some cases, survive through. And so they know it's down here. It's like, all the way down there. So they know, you know what? Yeah, it may be an inconvenience. It may be something that I don't like, but you know what? There are bigger fish to fry out there. There are bigger problems to deal with, and there's definitely something else that you should focus your time on. And that's where I kind of stand too. Yeah, I've had it tough in my childhood and things like that. Sure, it wasn't no Nazi death camp, no Great Depression, but through my hardships and through my childhood and through the things that I've been through, I've come to that same realization. There are bigger problems to worry about and focus on. Sure, it may be generic, but starving kids in Africa, poverty in the United States of America, rapists, child pedophilia, drug smuggling, opioid addiction, the list goes on. Things that are 1000% more important than fucking songs that offend you. Just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right. Just because you're offended doesn't mean that you have the right to take it off the air or cancel it, like cancel culture is trying to teach you today. Deal with it. Tolerate it. Let it go. Move on. It's not worth your time. Focus on something that's actually important, that actually fucking matters in this world. outside of your little privileged bubble that you live in. You're basically what people call nowadays a Karen. If you are into this whole cancel culture bullshit, don't be a Karen. Please don't be a Karen. So anyway, that's my thoughts on that. And while there are people that will have differing opinions than me, you know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to try to silence them. I'm not going to try to remove them. I'm not going to try to cancel them and anything that they're associated with. I'm not going to go to their business and try to get them fired, because I'm not some oversensitive cancel culture extremist. Because I know there are more important things in this world to worry about. I know that there are definitely things that I should be focusing on more than someone who disagrees with me or a song that I don't like. Shit, if I was all like that, then I'd want to try to get country removed off the fucking radio. But you don't see me doing that now, do you? Because I don't subscribe to this entitlement bubble of privilege and only what I think about and what I care about matters type mind frame. That is beyond self-centered. That is so narcissistic. That is so selfish. That is just pathetic of a mind frame to have. All about me, 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 me. What I think, what I want. Me, 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 I. So it says a lot about their character as well. What they think is superior to everyone else's. They want it removed just because they think it. With their self-righteousness and arrogance. But me? No, I'm not like that. I have the ability to, and discipline, and emotional tolerance, and just in maturity in general, to be like, whatever, big deal. Resilience. It's the only thing that'll make America great again. Until next time.